There was once a young girl living in the busy city of Lagos, Nigeria. Her name was Nkem, a girl known for her neatly braided hair, a gentle heart, and a spirit full of kindness. Nkem lived with her mother in a small and humble room at the edge of a lively market in Omokoko part of Lagos. They did not have much, but they shared what mattered most: love, warmth, and a peaceful home. In another part of that same city lived a man whose name shook the business world, Chief Femi Balogun. He was one of the richest men in Lagos. His cars filled the compound, his mansion shone like a palace, and his name opened doors everywhere. But, even the wealthiest person can carry a sorrow deeper than the ocean. Chief Balogun's wife died while giving birth to their first and only child, a baby girl named Zora. The day that should have brought joy became a day of tears. And as if that pain was not enough, the baby came with a strange condition. Every night, as the moon rose, a burning heat would fill her body, heat so strong that even her blankets felt too hot to touch. Doctors tried. Medicines came. Specialists traveled. But the illness stayed, like an unwanted visitor. Chief Balogun had once trusted one loyal maid, a woman called Auntie Grace, who cared for him and his home like family. But just 1 week before his wife's death, Auntie Grace got married and moved abroad. With her gone, and betrayal from others in the past, the chief's heart grew hard. He trusted no one. He hired nurses, but he watched them like a hawk. He tested people to see if they would show genuine care, but to him, everyone wanted money, not love. And so he raised baby Zora alone, not with affection, but with fear and distance. He could buy anything, except comfort for his child. One day, after yet another night of Zora crying in fever, Chief Balogun sat in the darkness of his mansion, thinking and thinking. My money cannot heal her. My heart is too broken to raise her. But, surely, there must be a kind soul out there. Someone who still knows how to love without being paid. And so, a painful idea came to him. One that only a desperate father could think of. Very early one morning, before the sun began to warm the sky, Chief Balogun carried his little baby, wrapped in a small blanket, and stepped out. He left his mansion quietly, with no guards and no driver, holding his child close as if unsure he was doing the right thing. He walked to a quiet corner near a local market. A place where kind-hearted people often passed by. With trembling hands, he placed his baby near a small wooden store, tucked a tiny note into her blanket, and stepped back. But he did not leave completely. He hid nearby, watching from a distance, testing the heart of the world. Some people passed by. Some looked, shook their heads, and walked away. Others whispered, trouble, and avoided the sight. It is easy to feel pity, but true kindness requires courage. That same morning, young Nkem and her mother, Mama Nkem, were returning from the market where they had gone to buy a few items to sell. Nkem was cheerful as always, humming a small song and swinging her basket. Suddenly, Nkem stopped. Mama, wait, she said softly. I hear a baby crying. They followed the sound, and there, small and helpless, they saw the little girl. Her face was red from tears, her body trembling, and her little voice calling for help without words. Nkem's eyes softened immediately. Oh! Mama, see her. Someone left her here. She might be sick, Nkem whispered, bending carefully to carry the baby. Mama Nkem looked around, confused and worried. Oh! Who would leave a baby like this? My daughter, we cannot carry someone's child home. Police matter can come home. But Nkem held the baby closer to her chest, and the crying reduced. The child felt safe, as if destiny recognized a familiar heart. Mama, if we leave her here, she may die, Nkem said with tears in her voice. Let us take her home just for today, just to keep her safe. Please, Mama. Mama Nkem looked at the child, then at her daughter, and her heart softened too. All right. We will keep her for today. but tomorrow, we must report to the authorities. And that was how Destiny took its first step. As Nkem and her mother walked away with the baby, Chief Baligan watched from his hiding place. He saw the care in Nkem's eyes, the way she held the baby, not like a burden, but with tenderness. And for the first time in a long while, the chief exhaled. For he had just seen the seed of true kindness. Nkem and her mother reached home and laid the little baby on their small bed. The child looked peaceful for a moment, but as night began to fall, something strange happened. The baby's tiny body grew hot like burning coal. Sweat covered her skin, and she began to cry uncontrollably. Mom Nkem touched the child and quickly withdrew her hand. "Oh, this baby is burning up. This is not ordinary fever," she exclaimed. Neighbors heard the cry and gathered at their door, offering advice the way people always do. One neighbor said, "Take her to the hospital quickly." Another whispered, "This one looks like a spiritual problem." But in the middle of the confusion, Nkem stayed calm. She wrapped the baby with a damp cloth and held her close to her chest. "It's okay. I'm here," Nkem whispered gently, rocking her like she had always been her own. That night, the small family spent the little money they had on medicine and transport to the clinic. They did not know this fever was not a sickness of days, but of years. Far away, in his mansion, Chief Baligan sat before a small screen. Unseen by Nkem, he had secretly placed a tiny tracking device in the baby's blanket. He watched every move, listened to every word. He saw how Mom Nkem spent her only savings. He saw Nkem stay awake all night to comfort the little girl. He saw no complaint, no regret, only love freely given. The chief whispered to himself, "Could this truly be the heart I have been searching for?" Days passed, and still no one came to claim the baby. Nkem grew attached. She fed the baby, bathed her, and sang to her. She named her Zora, not knowing it was already her name. Mom Nkem often sighed, "This child was sent to us for a reason." Zara began to grow. She smiled more. She followed Nkem everywhere, holding her wrapper, sleeping beside her, laughing when she braided her hair into tiny puffs. But every night, without fail, the fever returned. Some nights were mild. Some nights were frightening. And every night, Nkem stayed awake to care for her. She found her. She prayed for her. She boiled warm water to bathe her. She sat by her side like a guardian angel. Time passed, 1 year, then 2, then 3. Zara spoke her first words. She learned to walk. She laughed loudly. She called Mom Nkem Mommy, and called Nkem Sister Nkem. By the time Zara turned 4, the neighbors already knew the story. She is not their child, but they love her like their own. Meanwhile, Chief Baligan watched, always from afar. He saw how the little family struggled, yet remained united. He saw how Nkem sacrificed school events, playtime, sleep, and comfort, just to care for the child that destiny gave her. His heart, once broken by loss and mistrust, began to heal slowly. Love is not always loud. Sometimes it is in small sacrifices that no one claps for. One evening, when Zara was about 5 years old, she fell very ill. The fever was stronger than usual. Her body shook and her voice became weak. Nkem held her tightly, crying softly. "Please don't leave me, Zara. Please breathe, please stay." Mom Nkem rushed to call a nurse from the community clinic. When the nurse arrived and saw how the young girl fought to keep Zora alive, she was moved. "Young girl," the nurse said, "you have cared for her better than many trained adults could. You have a gift." Zara survived that night, and when morning came, she touched Nkem's cheek and whispered, "Sister Nkem, don't ever leave me." And Nkem replied, "I will always be here." Years continued to pass. 5, 6, and soon, 7. The bond between the two girls grew beyond blood. It became a connection of souls. A friendship built on sleepless nights, gentle hands, and unconditional love. As Zora's 7th birthday approached, the fever still came every night, but something felt different. Perhaps destiny was preparing for a change. Chief Balagan watched all of this from a distance. Sometimes he sat in the dark, tears rolling silently. How could a girl with so little give so much, he wondered. I, with all my riches, could not do half of what she has done. At last, the 7th year arrived, the year destiny had marked. As the seasons passed, little Zara blossomed in Nkem's care. 7 years had flown like the wind that dances through tall palm trees. The strange nightly fever that once tormented her had faded and finally stopped completely as she approached her 7th birthday. Nkem's tiny home, once quiet and modest, now echoed with laughter, songs, and childhood joy. One cool evening, Nkem returned from the market holding Zora's hand as they skipped along the familiar dusty road that led to their home. Nothing felt unusual. Nothing gave warning. But destiny does not send a letter before it arrives. Just as they approached the compound, Zora stopped suddenly. Auntie Nkem, look. Elegant black vehicles were parked outside their small home. Their surfaces shone as if polished with the sun itself. Well-dressed guards stood around them, calm, tall, and dignified, carrying themselves with the quiet confidence of lions who needed no roar. The neighbors peeked behind curtains and gates, whispering. Children gathered with wide eyes. Something unusual was happening. Nkem's heart beat softly but steadily. She squeezed Zora's hand. Stay close to me, my child. From the middle vehicle, a familiar face stepped out. Chief Balagan. His calm expression held something different, something heavier than all the times he had visited them secretly over the years. Nkem, he said gently, may we come inside? She nodded, confused but respectful, and led them into her modest living room. The guards remained outside, maintaining a quiet wall of protection. Inside, Chief Balagan was not alone. A man and a woman entered behind him, regal in posture, dressed in elegant traditional robes of deep royal blue, decorated with golden patterns of the kingdom of Omalori. The woman wore a delicate crown resting lightly upon her braided hair. The man, tall and noble, carried a staff with the crest of a sun blooming over a river, symbol of Omalori's royal house. Nkem's knees weakened slightly. She bowed without thinking. Zara, puzzled, simply held tightly to Nkem's wrapper. The royal couple looked at the child, and tears immediately filled the queen's eyes. The man spoke first, his voice calm but emotional. Her name is not Zora. It is Princess Zelira of Omalori. Nkem blinked slowly. Chief Balagan exhaled deeply, the kind of breath a man releases after carrying a heavy secret for far too long. My children, the storyteller whispers, this is the moment truth opened its wings. Chief Balagan turned to Nkem. I was never her father, he confessed softly. I was assigned to protect and observe from a distance. The royal house of Omalori placed Princess Zelira in the ordinary world so she would be raised in kindness, far from the walls of privilege. The queen stepped forward, voice trembling. A prophecy was given when she was born, she said. A dark whisper from the ancient scrolls. Only a heart untouched by greed will break the fever that guards her destiny. Raise her in love, not luxury. Only then shall she live beyond 7 years. Many around the royal family wanted power. Enemies of the throne watched. So the royal council decided, the child must be raised among ordinary people, where true kindness still breathes freely. The queen's eyes filled again as she looked at Nkem. You, Nkem, you were the answer we prayed for. The king then placed a beautiful carved wooden box on the table. Inside were photographs of baby Zelira in the palace, her royal birth documents, and a necklace bearing the Omalori crest. Everything matched the child Nkem had called Zora. The room was silent. Even the air seemed to pause. Then, from outside, villagers gasped as a royal banner of Omalori was raised slowly beside the packed vehicles. Zara looked up at Nkem with innocent fear. Auntie, am I going away? Nkem knelt down, holding the girl close. No matter what happens, my child, I love you. You hear me? The queen knelt too, something no one expected of royalty. Princess Elira, she said softly, would you allow me to hold you? Zara hesitated, then stepped forward slowly. The queen embraced her tightly, weeping into her daughter's hair. After a long quiet moment, the king spoke. Nkem of humble heart, the kingdom of Omalori is forever in your debt. We offer you 2 paths. Choose the one your spirit accepts. He raised 2 fingers. Path 1. You remain here, living your life as you choose. But you will never struggle again. A home of your own, wealth to sustain you, and a business of your choice will be provided. You will live in comfort and honor for all your days. Path 2. You come with us to the kingdom of Omalori. You will be given a noble title. Princess Elira will need a familiar heart as she grows, and you may serve as her official guardian and royal mentor. Your life will change forever, but you will never be alone. Zara immediately grabbed Nkem's hand, her voice trembling. Auntie Nkem, I want you with me. Oh. The decision weighed like a calabash filled with both honey and hot pepper. Sweet, yet heavy. Chief Balogun stepped closer. Whatever you choose, Nkem, know this, you have passed a test that many would have failed. He paused, then added with a small smile. And the Royal Council has also spoken of a possible union in the future, should destiny lead that way. For families connected through love may one day be joined through honor. Nkem's cheeks warmed. Marriage. To whom? Now. Later. She said nothing, but her heart had the seed of possibility. Nkem closed her eyes and breathed deeply. Should she follow the path of quiet peace? Or step into the palace of Omalori and a future woven with destiny? The calabash of this tale is placed before you. Which path should Nkem choose? Should she stay in her humble world, blessed with comfort and freedom? Or follow Princess Elira to the palace, becoming part of the royal family of Omalori? Tell us, wise listeners. What would you choose? Kindness is a seed that never dies. When planted in the soil of a pure heart, its harvest feeds generations. Remember, wealth may build a house, but only love builds a home.